Hi, this is addition session 20 and in this session we're going to look at adding a 2-digit number and a 3-digit number together, making an exchange and regrouping as well. Okay, so we're going to recap on the last lesson. If you haven't got already, you need to get the place value counters or the base 10 materials, and they can be found in the introduction to Maths Masters sessions video in the description section there. So just download them and print them out and cut them out, and that'll be really useful. You also might find it really handy to have a KS1 Place Value Grid, which can be found in the place value sessions on the videos as well. I've put a link to those sessions in the description section in here to help you as well to find it. Okay, so we're hoping that we're getting a lot more confident in maths now, a lot more confident with addition, especially mental addition. So seeing that we can do things mentally and looking at the numbers first before we start deciding if we're going to do a mental calculation or a written calculation. Okay, so have a look at these ones first. We've got 326 add 3 and 326 add 9. Look at those two numbers. What's different about the calculation that you're going to have to do there? So pause the video and just discuss what is different about those two calculations. Okay, so I'm hoping that you thought about the place value columns. We've got 326 and we're adding 3 on. So if we partition 326 into 326, if we add 3 on, we can see that this is the only number, it's just the ones column that's going to change there. So we're just going to have 329. But here when we have 326 adding 9 on, we can see that it's going to be, when we add 9 onto here, it's going to change not just the ones column, but also the tens column is going to change, because we're going to end up with more than 9 ones in our ones column. So it's going to mean we're going to have to regroup and exchange for a 10. So we can see this using the place value, the place value grid, the KS1 Place Value Grid. If we've got 326 and we're adding 9 on, so we've just lost one on its way to the board. So we've got 326 and we're adding 9 onto there. So here we can see visually that we're going to end up with 10 ones, because if we move 4 of those 9 ones into the 6 that we've already got, we can then exchange those 10 ones into the tens column here, because now the 10 ones have made one 10, and we can exchange those 10 ones for a 10. And we put it down here. Now, some people might tell you different places to put it, but here we're going to put it at the bottom, so when we add these numbers together, we can remember to add that on. And then we can do the calculation. We can see then what we've got. We have got still 300, but now we've got 3 tens, which is 30, and we've got 5, which makes 335. Now, if we wanted to do this, another way we could do this one mentally is we could say, we could add one onto that to make it into a 10. So we could say 326 add 10, which will be 336, and we just take 1 off our answer to give us 335. So I've added 10 on because it's easier to just add 10 on, and then I can just take 1 off my answer at the end of that. So that's another little mental trick, a little thing you can do to help you to do that. So the next one we're going to look at is these two. So looking at these two calculations, what is different about these? So pause the video and how you're going to calculate these two differently. Okay, so 326 add 30. Now I hope you thought about this one, 326. If you partition it and you're adding 30 on it, it's just the tens column that's going to change there, and you're going to add on 3 more tens in that column. So 2 10s and 3 10s, or 2 and 3 makes 5, so 20 and 30 makes 50. So you're going to add on the 30 here, so it's going to be 350 and 6 is equal to 356. Now here we've got 326 add 90. So we can look at this. You can use a number line if you like, or you can use another place value grid. So we can make the number 326, and we're going to add on 90. Now this time, look at the ones isn't going to change. What is going to change with this number? So what did you see that was different with this? What is going to change? So there's no exchange on this one, so I'm hoping you realised that with this one you're going to have to make an exchange, because we've got 9 10s and 2 10s, so we've got more than 9 10s in our 10s column, so we're going to have to exchange over. So I'm going to bring in the 9 10s, and hopefully they shall stay on it without falling off. So we've got our 9 10s adding to our 2 10s. Okay, so we can see now we've got 326, and we're adding on 90, and we've got 0 in that column. So 6 and 0 makes 6. Now we've got 90 and 20, so 90 and 20 makes 110. And we've still got 300 there. So if we want to use a column method for this, then what we need to do now is exchange that 100 there into the hundreds column. So when I move that 10 onto here, I then can exchange these 10 10s that never want to stay on the 10s frame, on the 100 frame. Those 10 10s can come into the hundreds column, and I'll exchange those 10 10s for 100. So now I've got 400 and 10 and 6, which makes 416. Okay, we can also do this using the formal column method of 326, adding on 90, I don't know, they don't stay on, do they? 326, adding on 90, and we can do this using a column method this time. So we've got 6 ones. Now here we've got 9 and 10 10s, so we can move this into the hundreds column. So I'm going to exchange that for 100 there, and now I can see I've got 110 and I've got 1, 2, 300, and don't forget to count this one, I've got 416 altogether. Okay, right, now you're going to have a go. So use base 10, use place value counters to have a go at this one. Oh, before I move on, mental method for this one, add 10 to that, make it into 100. So do 326, add 100, which is 426, and then take the 10 back off, is 416. Okay, so this one, have a go at these two yourself. 326 add 43, and then 326 add 45. So pause it and have a go at doing those two yourself. Okay, so 326 add 43. So always helpful to put your place value headings on top, because it helps you to make sure why. Why should we do that? Why should we put our place value headings on the top of it? What use is that to us? Okay, so put them on there because they help us to align our digits in the correct place and making sure when we start adding in a column method that we're putting the 3s in the 1 column, we're putting that 4 10s in the 10s column. Okay, 6 add 3 is 9, 4 10s and 2 10s is 6 10s, 3 hundreds and 0 hundreds is 369. What's different about this one? Okay, what do you notice about this one? Look at the numbers. Is any of the columns going to change? There was no exchanging on this one. Are we going to have an exchange here? Pause it and think about that. Did you have an exchange on that one? Okay, hopefully you realise that you're going to have an exchange in this column because we've got more than 9 ones. So 6 and 5 is 11. So we put those 10 10s over here. Sorry, those 10 ones that make up 11, and we've got 1 left over, so that remains in the answer. And this 10 lot of ones we exchanged for 1 10, so we've got an extra 1 10 in our 10s column, and then we can add that 1 10 to the others. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 10s. Then here we've got just 300 on its own, and it makes 371. Okay, now looking at this one now, what's happening in this one? So try question 3, and then we will have a look at question 4 together. So have a go, pause it and have a go at question 3. Okay, so question 3, 326 add 93 for this one. So I'm going to show you using the place value counters. So we've got 326 and we're adding on 90 and 3 more ones. Okay, so we can look here, we've got 6 and 3. So we've got no exchange happening in the ones column because we've got 9 ones all together. So we can write it as 326 add 90 add 3, which makes 9 there. And in the formal method we'll just put 9 ones. And then we can add our 10s together. Now we've got 9 10s and 2 10s, so 9 10s and 2 10s, or 90 and 20, makes 110. And we can see here that we've made 10 10s, which is the same as 100. We've got 1 10 left over, so we're going to exchange this into our hundreds column and exchange it, those 10 10s for 100, which we'll put down here to remember to add on at the end. So we've got 110, and then we've got 300 here that we added, but here, because we've moved our 100 over, we've now got 110 here, and that 100 has moved over, so we've got 419. So on this one, you could even do another where you say 300, add 100, add 10, add 9, and that would make 419 as well. Okay, so the next one, here we've got 326 add 95. So we're going to go through this one together. I'm going to talk you through this and I'm going to give you some to have a go on your own. So always good to put the place value headings in because that helps to make sure I've got the numbers in the correct place, that I've got the hundreds and the tens and the ones in the correct column. Use a ruler if you can. So 6 and 5 first. So I'm going to show you this using the place value grid. So we've got 326. Put that over there. And we're adding on to this 95. So we've got 320 and 6, and we're adding on 90 and 5. So what I'm going to do is replace those, put my 5 there, and replace those for tens frame. And then we've got 95. So I'm going to use a 100 frame with the tens on to show at 90. Okay. So now I'm going to look, do I need to do any regrouping and exchanging? So we've got 6 ones and 5 ones. Well, I can see here when I put those ones together, that is going to make a 10. So I'm going to exchange that 10 for, exchange those 10 ones for a 10, like that. So there's 10 ones I've replaced with a 10. So I'm going to place that there, and then I can add up what I've got here. I've got 9 tens, I can add a 10 there, that makes 10 tens. So now I need to exchange in this column. So this 100 frame has now been filled with my 10 tens, so I can exchange into the hundreds column. Those 10 tens are worth 100, so I'm going to replace those 10 tens for 100, and then I can do my addition. I've got 1, and I've got 20, and I've got 400 there. So it makes 421. So if I wanted to do this using formal column method, 6 and 5 makes 11, so we exchange, we put a 10 there and a 1 there. Now I can add my 10s together. I've got 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 10s, so 10 10s will make 100, so I'm putting 100 in the hundreds column. I'm putting a 2 there for the 2 I've got left over, which you can see here. And then I've got 300, add 100, so 3 and 1 makes 421. Okay, so can you see that? You've got to be careful because we're exchanging in 2 columns across there. Right, okay. I'd like you to have a go at these. Look at the numbers, decide if you're going to have some sort of exchange. So we've got 168, add on 21. We've got 168, add on 23. We have got 168, add on 31, and then question 4, we've got 168, add on 33. Now remember, use your hundreds, tens and ones headings to help you to make sure you've got your numbers aligned in the correct place, and pause the clip, look at it, look at what you're going to exchange and have a go at those. Okay, so hope we've had a good go at those ones now and you've seen what you need to do if there's any exchanging going on. So the first one, I hope you notice there's no exchanging for this one. We've got 8 ones and 1 1 will make 9. 6 tens and 2 tens will make 8 tens, and 100 and 0 hundreds will make 189 for that one. Okay, now the second one, was there exchanging in the second one? So let's have a look at the first one. We've got 8 ones and 3 ones. So if we look at this using our place value, we've got 168, and we have got 1 60. Okay, and we're adding on 23. So hopefully you've noticed when you've been doing this that you can see there that there's an exchange going to happen in this ones column, because when we've got 8 and 3, it's going to make 11. So 8 and 3 here will make 11. We've got 1 10 and 1 left over, and you can see here we've got 1 10. We can exchange into the tens column, exchange it for a 10, and we've got this 1 left over, so we have got 1 here. The next column, we've got 6 tens and 2 tens, which makes 8 tens, and 1 10 makes 9 tens, and we can see that here 6, 7, 8, 9, which is 90. And then the final column, we've got 100 on its own, makes 191, makes 191 there as well. Okay, now the third one, we've got our 168, and this time we're adding on 31. So with this one, there's no exchange going to happen with this one because we've got a 9 there. We've got 6 and 3 makes 9 there, and 100 and no hundreds makes 199. So the final one, we have got 168, add on 33. Okay, so what exchanges were happening in this one? So 168, so I'm going to make the 168 again, and we're adding on 30 and 3. So I'll put 30 and 3. Okay, and we can have a go at doing this one. So we've got 8 ones and 3 ones. 8 ones and 3 ones makes 11. So we've got 11 here. So what we can do is exchange those 10 ones into the tens column, exchange them there, and they make 110. So then we've got our 1 that is here, and then we've got our 6 tens and 3 tens and 1 10. So this makes 10 tens altogether in our tens column. So we need to do some exchanging again, and we can see this. We place these onto our 100 frame. Like so. Those 10 tens now will exchange for 100 into the hundreds column, so we've got 100 there. Now really important here is that this 0, now we've got 0 tens, so we need to put 0 in this column because we've got no tens. Here we've got 100 and another 100, which makes 200, so it makes 200 and no tens and 1, it makes 201. Now if we look at it using the column method, we've got 8 and 3. So we can do it, I'm going to show you the expanded first. 160, add 80, add 30, add 3. Sorry, add 8. So 8 and 3 makes 11, 60 and 30 makes 90 and 100. So what we can do is add them together. 100, add 90, add 10, add 1 makes those two together would make 100. So we've got 100, add 100, add 1 equals 200, add 1 is equal to 201. Now if we look at it here, 8 and 3 makes 11. So we put 10 in there, in the tens column, and 1 there. 6 and 3 and makes 9, add 1 makes 10. So we put our 10 tens, make it into 100 in our hundreds column, because we've got 10, so write it as 10. Because we've got 100 and 0 tens now. Got 100 and 100 makes 200, so we've got 201 altogether, so it makes 201. So be really careful when you're exchanging over with two exchanges, remember to add your ones on as well. Now the final thing to look at today is what mistake has been made in these calculations. So the first one, 437 and 42, what mistake has been made there? Can you spot it? And the second one, 437 and 64, this has been worked out a little bit messily. It's not the messiness that's the mistake, it's just the calculation. So what's the mistake in this one as well that's been completed already? Pause it and have a go at working those out. Okay, so first one, 437 and 42. The 4 is in the hundreds column, the 2 is in the tens column, so it's not going to add up to what it should be because these numbers are not representing their true value, they've been placed in the wrong column. So you must make sure you align them into the correct place value in their columns. This one, 437 at 64. So what's happened here, 7 and 4 makes 11. So we've got 110 here and 1 left over. Then we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they've put the 1 down there, but they've forgotten to put the 0 in to show that there's now 0 tens in the tens column. Then 4 and 1 is 5, which makes 501. So careful, that's a common mistake, and we could have ended up with 51 rather than 501. So if we estimate our answers first, have a guess at what it's going to be, that'll really help us to make sure we get it correct. Okay, so in the activity section, if you press the arrow or the see more in the description below, you'll find an activity sheet to practice those skills, and make sure you subscribe to the next session where we're going to do some more practice. Turn your notifications on so you get a notification when the next video is online, and send any work to me or hashtag Marvellous Maths Masters, hashtag Maths Masters, and I'll see you back here for the next session. Okay, bye.